everybody get paper and pencil. You're going to be prompted for paper and pencil to begin with, but go ahead and get paper and pencil because you're going to want to take good notes. And yes, this is recorded, and the recordings come out usually within 24 hours, and you will get back to whomever invited you to pick up a copy of this recording. Okay, so Gary's not here. He's under the weather. Gary is a business partner of mine. We've known each other for about 20 years. He brought this concept to me about 13 weeks ago now. Okay, and what we saw, we didn't get our heads wrapped around this real quick, because I will tell you what we're not, and we'll qualify this throughout the slideshow, but we're really not network marketing. Okay, yes, you're going to see some aspects of network marketing. You'll see an aspect of MLM. You'll see an aspect of crypto in this, but we're not a crypto platform. We're not anything like a MLM crypto platform, and that's all you get. And a lot of issues have been out there. Doesn't mean they're all bad. I'm just saying, because crypto is not bad. Okay, just so you understand. And I have no knowledge of crypto, so I'm learning. All right. And it's just a very small part of what we do. Okay. But at the end of the day, you've got to have a vehicle that is going to check off all the boxes. And so when you got 97% of the people in the world, okay, that typically does not understand, for whatever reason, how to bring more than 2 people to any game to the show at any point in time in their lives, because the number is actually 2.8. And then 3 months later, they're off to the next one. Okay. Does anybody know why that happens? Somebody throw out there why people only bring a little under 3 people in their given life, and then 3 months later they're gone. Anybody got a clue about that? Anybody? They don't make money. They're not making money, right? Remember, in network marketing, the typical network marketing company, you're paying the owner up front every month. Up front. Then if they decide that you are going to earn a commission, you will get that later in the month if you've earned a commission. Okay. And at times, people are not qualified yet, and it may take them a certain amount of time, right? But they're still paying that monthly. Okay. If you understand this and you've seen this, or you've been involved in it, or you know somebody, give me a 1. Give me a 1. If you understand that normal network marketing companies force you to pay them first, and then if you're going to earn something, it's later in the month, but you typically have an auto ship because that's the only way things are sustainable. So you've been told, right? Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into the slides, Lou. Okay. Ambition is the first step towards success. Well, and so we are in the business of changing lives, as Alpes is. Next slide, please. So this is an early notification presentation, okay? And it's intended to provide food for thought about an amazing new and innovative opportunity that is about to launch and will put more money into more people's hands faster than any other legit opportunity on the planet. And we'll qualify these things as we go. Next slide, please. Des Alpes. Okay, what is Des Alpes? Well, Des Alpes is French for the Alps. Okay, a mountain range, right? Okay, and so Des Alpes is the brainchild and labor of love created over the past 4 years by a few close friends. All right, and these gentlemen are all in Canada. They're French Canadian, which means that the business itself is actually registered in Alberta. Okay, and they have been working on this a long time, from concept to where we are at. And where we are at is a pre-launch. Okay, we are not launched. We are in a pre-launch. We'll talk more about that. But the aim, okay, is to help average people. All right. Now, this may sound cliche, right? I've heard this before, Bob. To help average people create a substantial, life-changing income in a relatively short period of time. Yep. Heard these before? Let's move on, Lou. Okay. Now, quality products. Okay. And for all of you that are members, we're changed up just so that you know. And hey, this is the recording, so you're going to be able to see this again. But because of the fact that we have countries, ladies and gentlemen, we are global. All right. So let me qualify something first. We are global. We are in. Our team is actually in 20 or 30 countries right now. I'm not sure. We can't keep track, and it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that we are good to go, very close being good to go in at least 160 countries. Okay. In a lot of countries, all right, you have to do what? You have to be able to show that you have products for sale, meaning that you are going to be a customer first. Okay. And the mall that we have coming is just one of those. We have, and we will show you a digital product. So there we go. Des Alpes introducing an exclusive shopping mall with a deeply discounted high-end products. Okay, and we are very close to getting this contract signed because it came down to a number of different companies. Okay, we're talking about companies that drop ship, and we know that the mall is going to start in Canada and the United States, and then hopefully very soon thereafter, as when we get it, we will be able to expanding it rapidly. But we're talking about when we say high-end products, I know that there's a clothing line involved, and I know that there's people involved that come from the industry. Okay, people that possibly come from Shopify, from Amazon, from eBay, from on and on and on, that have got together and have put together what I call a mini Amazon or Amazon 2.0. No, it's not Amazon, and it's not Shopify, and it's not eBay. What I'm explaining is the reality of what we are going to be able to experience. And that's just the beginning, because these groups of people are going to absolutely build this to be the most exclusive online mall in the world to come. And that's a big, big thing to say. But I can tell you, we are very close to the ownership level of this company. And so we get to hear and see a lot of things as they come to fruition. So, all right. So that, again, you have to understand the 51% rule maintains that you are going to have 51% of your combined people's, right, customers versus affiliates. Okay, it's called the 51% rule, and it is an SEC thing, especially here in the United States. And so you will be a customer first. Okay, we will get into how that works, but you will be a customer first and always, no matter what the product is. Okay, again, we got more than one product. And then you will have your first two customers, because you are going to sign up your first two people, and we'll talk more about that. But then they are your customers. So again, because you're a customer first and you have two customers when you start in this pre-launch, especially, then you have what? You have completed what we call compliance, and the 51% rule is now out of the way. So let's talk about the potential income. Okay. All right. And we will have a disclaimer in this very soon because we have to talk about the disclaimer part, and that's coming up.
It will come up.
Compensation. Yeah. Compensation shows that there's going to be a mirror 2x20 matrix and a unilevel. Okay. So that's two different things. Okay. So, and when I talk to you about there's some components, okay, you are going to see a 2x20 forced matrix as one component. Okay. And that's all it is. It's a component to keep us together tight, and also how we are going to earn. Right. So keep that in mind. And then a mirror just means another 2x20, and income has the opportunity to come from that. So we're talking about multiple income streams, right? Not just one. You're going to see multiple. Okay. And a unilevel. Okay. For all of you that don't understand what a unilevel is all it means basically is that you have the opportunity to put people across the top, as many as you want, when you get that opportunity to build like that, right? Because there's a couple of different ways that we build, and we'll explain that as well. So it's right there. So there's 5 levels in this part of that compensation, and you can see it 50%, 20, 10, 10, and 10. Okay. Now it's important to understand up front that you, in order to qualify for all commissions for the entire compensation plan, you will make at least one monthly purchase at any price from the shopping mall. This is not an auto ship, but it is a requirement, and it is compliance. Okay. Remember, we are going to always be compliant. All right. And when that just basically means is that we want to make it legal so that it benefits everybody, right? And so that we don't get anybody in trouble anywhere in the world. If that makes sense, give me a 2. If that makes sense, give me a 2.
Now, Bob, as somebody who might be new here, they may have heard someone tell them that there's only one time they'll have to pay. So how
Mm-hmm.
does this work? Are we going to go into that later? How this actually
Yeah.
works? That I have to make
Yeah,
a monthly purchase?
we're going to come up on all of that. So,
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, we changed this a little bit around because again, this is a startup. Let me just explain something. I've been involved in startups. When I'm talking about a startup, I'm talking about literally from starting of talking about something that you might want to have happen in the business world, regardless of whether it's online or offline. And I've been in the brick and mortar side of a startup to launching and on, and also when I said Genesity, I was a founding member and involved in the back end of the startup of that company. Okay, so I've seen a whole lot of different things, and things have a way of changing, and change is good as long as we stay compliant. Because what we don't want for anybody that's on this call, whether you're a committed member or not yet, is to turn over a project, to turn over a platform, to turn over your back office, and it's not ready. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. That we're not going to turn over a back office to anybody here, including myself, right? Until we know that it's ready to go. We are completely legal, and we are not going to have a bunch of issues. Okay. All right. Imagine this Alpes membership base growing into the millions. All right. Another bold statement, right? It is a bold statement. But once you understand everything that you're going to hear about tonight, it's not going to be hard for you to put 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 together and come up with the fact that, hey, the potential is there. Again, we're going to get to a disclaimer because I cannot guarantee you any of this, right? Because that would be illegal. All right, next slide, Lou. All right, now, some quick key points. Okay, we've already mentioned that we've got a product. We've actually got 2. The mall is 1 and a digital product, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So now, let's talk about how you get to start with this Alpes. Right now, there's no money involved. None. Not a dime for the majority. There's some of us that have been going through part of this startup requires testing of the payment processor, and we're still in the middle of that. Again, part of things that you do at the startup, and we're making sure that the payment processor is going to do 2 things perfectly. It's going to take our funds without a problem, right? And then it's going to do what? It's going to return us the income as we build it. All right. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Well, we got a 3 already. How about a 4? How about a 4 if that makes sense? That we want to make sure that the payment processor works properly, right? Again, the payment processor is one of the biggest aspects of the platform because you got to be able to pay to get started, and you got to be able to what? You got to be able to see the money coming in, right? Okay. And that happens when you go to work, right? Okay. So one time, $129 or $165, I'll qualify that later, out of pocket can earn you an amazing monthly long-term income. That's correct. There is no auto ship. There is no forced auto ship. Hope you're all taking good notes. All monthlies and upgrades come out of profit and are totally optional. Okay, this is an international opportunity. We already talked about that with a universal digital product, which is the other product. Okay, and that it can increase in value, and there are no additional costs to us. Now we talk about no one drops out of this deal. Whoa, that's a big one, right? No one drops out of this deal. Well, how in the world is that possible? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because we said one time out of pocket, right? And so it's very simple. When you decide to come, you're going to decide to come in the pre-launch and be qualified to come in the pre-launch, or you're going to decide to come in the public launch. Okay, two separate things. So let's keep them separated, right? And so one time out of pocket, all right? So your admin fee is involved in this. So in the pre-launch, it's $45, but that covers you for 12 months. And then you're grandfathered. Okay, that was only going to be offered to the first of us partners and leaders that were coming in, but it's been open to now everybody, right? As long as we're in pre-launch. And then that will change back when we go to the public launch. That will change back to $9 a month, or $45 for 6 months, or $81 for 12 months. So $45 for 12 months is a pretty good deal. I think it's a pretty good deal. And then grandfathered, maybe something to think about. Okay, no one drops out. Remember what I said, one time out of pocket. So literally what you're going to do is you're going to go in your back office, you're going to set up your back office, and you're going to put your credit card or debit card. And if you live in a country, as long as you live in a country, including Canada, United States, that allows you to use a credit or debit card already, this will work for you. Okay, this will work for you. But you're going to do this, and you're going to pay your $45 if you come at pre-launch. And then when we go to the public launch, you're going to pay your $120, and now you're completely in. And then I'm going to tell you, I said no one drops out of this deal, right? Well, how is that possible? Well, I'm going to tell you. You're going to go and you're going to take that credit card, that debit card, and you're going to take it out of the back office. You're going to throw it. You can throw it out the window. You probably don't want to do that, right? You probably want to put it back in your wallet or your purse or wherever you keep it. But the point is, nobody's ever going to come back and ask you for another dime out of your pocket forever. Once you are paid in, you are always paid in. Now give me a 4 if that's okay for you to have a one-time out-of-pocket business expense to get started in your own business and never have to pay another dime out of your pocket. Yes. Okay, so how else do we get paid, and how else can we pay in? Credit card, debit card, as we already said. Now, USDT TRC20 on the Tron network is also accepted, as well as, we don't have it in the slide yet, but USDC. Okay, these are stable coins tied to the dollar, right? And for you gurus about crypto, you would know that, and I'm learning it. Global daily pay. So now how are we getting paid? Okay, again, if you are in a country that allows you to use a debit card or credit card, you are probably going to be able to use ACH, meaning direct deposit, daily. Okay, remember what I said earlier? We're paying you daily first. Write this down. Another clue. Write this down. You get paid daily first. Not paying the owners of a business them first. You get paid daily first, and not weekly. Again, daily, every day, right? And you also can get paid by USTD TRC20 on the Tron network, okay? And a debit card, okay? That's coming later. We might touch on that as well. A debit card. So what I'm talking about, a debit card coming later, is there's a rewards program, which is another potential income stream, right? And so how does this work as far as what we call getting on board? Well, you got to be at least 18. You got to be at least 18 years of age or older, okay? Meaning that you got to have your own, you're going to have your own way of identifying yourself. Meaning, obviously, you got to have valid identification, legal first name and last name. Okay. When you see KYC will be done, we will not start with KYC, but that's know your customer. Okay. And I'm not going to go into too much detail of it, but I will tell you that it is not for the faint of heart. It is not a complicated thing. We have videos that are being made that will be in your back office that will explain all of these things. Okay. Because I got to be explained too. I know about KYC. There's some things that probably have changed over the years, but basically it is the way that you legally identify yourself. Okay. So screenshots. Okay. This is part of compliance. All right. Now you see this. I see it all the time on Facebook, right? If you see on Facebook, as an example, somebody doing a screenshot of the money that they've got in their bank account from their business opportunity, give me a 5. Give me a 5 if you've seen it. Give me a 5 if you've seen it. It's illegal. That is an SEC rule. And even though they don't enforce it right now very well, you don't want to test that, right? Don't test that, because I can tell you that Alpes has its own terms of service, its own policies and procedures that we are already looking at now, that we have available, that we are putting out. And you will see that you need to not be doing a number of things. And this is a big one. All right. So just sticking with this deal and following our lead can see your income increase almost automatically over time. Next slide. All right, here we go. I said there was a disclaimer. Okay, first of all, I am not a financial consultant, even though I do some financial advice. I can give some advice, but when it comes down to what you need to understand, as an example about maybe being a sole proprietor or using an LLC or a 501c3 designation, that you need to go to a tax attorney, a CPA, a certified financial planner, somebody that's licensed. So for demonstration purposes, this is what we're showing you. Okay. And if you seek financial advice, we're just telling you, find a licensed financial services professional. So examples of possible earnings presented here are simply examples of what can happen under the parameters presented. And if we lived in a perfect world, and obviously we do not, right? So what does that mean? So in no way is any of this meant to be an indicator or guarantee of what any individual can or will earn. Individual earnings are strictly based upon each individual effort and circumstances, and that will vary from one individual to the next. All right, next slide. All right. Oh, now let's talk about the meat and potatoes. We're starting to talk about the meat and potatoes of part of the compensation plan. Okay, remember I said that we are not network marketing or MLM, but we have some components. Again, the 2x20 is a forced matrix. There's all kinds of different ways. Now, at the very top of this, you see compensation plan, and you see BPI, binary paid immediately. Okay, that doesn't mean that this is a binary compensation plan. It is not a binary compensation plan. Okay, in a binary compensation plan that a lot of company owners use, the way and the reason that they use it is because that means that they only have to pay you on your weaker, lesser leg of volume. Okay, not so great, not so great, not so hot. Okay, so what this means is French, and just means that because you're getting paid up front on your first 2 only. We'll speak to that here in a minute. So again, so you understand, a 2x20 force matrix just means your first level is only going to have 2, your second level is only going to have 4, your third level 8, your fourth level 16, and your fifth level 32. And we're going to focus on that. The first 5 levels from 2 to 62. So your numbers, write these down. Your numbers are your first 2 that you're going to bring in with you, which is part of also being qualified to be in a pre-launch. You have a minimum of 2, okay? Because there's a couple of ways to do this, and we teach one specific way, and we're going to show you why we teach this way, okay? We cannot force you, compel you, or make you build it the way that we are going to teach you or suggest to you. But I think if you take good notes and you understand the reason why, then it may make you want to build this the same way too. Okay, and again, each of us will have our own 2x20 matrix when we join. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so what we need you to do, now we said paper and pencil. So in order for you to understand, there's a couple of things you need to know up front about the phase. I call it phase 1, or the meat and potatoes. You have a constant in this plan. The constant is $100. Write this down. $100 per person, per level, per day, from levels 1 through levels 20. That means there's no breakaways, there's no percentages in this part of the compensation plan. It's constant. Okay, so that means that the math is pretty easy. So we're going to show you how the math is going to work, right? And we're also going to show you a couple of things that you've never seen before. All right. And one of them is the expenditures that you see, and the purchases, which is DesAlpes Points, which is a digital product. Okay. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Okay. But understand this: in a business model, no matter what kind of business it is, you have to have an income stream. And remember, we pay you first, not last. We pay you first. Okay. You've already made your initial investment into your business, and you will never make that again. Right? What did I tell you? Credit card out. It's never, they're going to come back around, and there's nothing to take from you, and they won't. Okay. The next part is the members. Okay. We're focusing on levels 1 through 5. Just focus on levels 1 through 5. You're going to see big numbers. Forget about the big numbers. Again, we can't guarantee you that you're going to make anything. So why in the world would I guarantee you if you're looking at $419 million, right? Now, that is not hype and not conjecture. It is simple math, okay? But we cannot guarantee you that that's going to happen, and we won't. All right. So the members per line, levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you see that on the rest. So you're going to write that on your paper. So next to the right of those numbers, okay, right from the top to the bottom, just like you did. So your levels for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are 2 members only on your first level, 4 on your second, 8, 16, and then 32. And again, we're focusing only on this. I call it your core. Okay, 2 and 62 is your core. Next slide. All right. So now let's get these things looking so that you can look at it and see how they're going to jive. Okay. And this again is, just remember the constant. The constant, $100 per person, per level, per day. All right. So on that piece of paper, we're going to write the corresponding numbers of people that can be on each level. All right. So level 1. Okay. So 2 on level 1. Okay. They're going to pay you 5 times. And they're going to pay you what? The constant, 100. Now, let your level 2 people are going to pay you 4 times, right? And you got 4 people times 100. Your level 3 is going to pay you 3 times, and you have 8 times 100. Remember, just follow the math. Level 4, right? You've got 16 people that level times 2. They're only going to pay you twice on that level, times 100. And then level 5, you've got 32 times 1 times 100. Now, if you go backwards with your numbers, this is what, so where do you get 62, Bob? Well, add them up in reverse. 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. There's your 62, right? Okay, so let's do the math. So now we can take the math and show you some income stream possibilities. So let's do it. Level 1. All right, 2 people pays you 5 times, 5 times 100, that's $1,000. Okay. Now remember, this is residual income, meaning that you're going to get this month in, month out. That is part of network marketing and MLMs, residual income. That's what we all look forward to, is residual income, right? So level 2, let's continue with the math. 4 people paying you 4 times 100, that's $1,600. Level 3, 8 people paying you 3 times 100, it's $2,400. Level 4, level 4, right? 16 people. Remember, 2, 4, 8, 16 now on your 4th level. Times 2 times 100 gives you the 3,200. And then your 5th level, you've got 32 that are going to pay you once, right? Times 100, and that's 32. And we're going to add these all up, and we're going to put this back together, and we're going to show you the rest of the math. And so we're not going to go back through the math part of it, but let's just add them up. So 1,000, 1,600, 24, 32, and 32. When you add those together, you're going to have a gross. Okay, this is a gross amount before expenses of 11,400 a month. Okay, and that happens when you start with your first 2, then you help your 2 get 4, you help your 4 get 8, you help your 8 get 16, and then you'll get 32 over some period of time, right? But the way that we're teaching this, that you are only going to sign up your first 2. Okay, then you're going to teach your first 2 to do the same thing. They're going to teach their first 2 to do the same thing. And what happens is this allows you to qualify and to make sure that they're following you, because you don't move anywhere until everybody underneath moves with you. All right. So write that down. You don't move from level 1 to level 2, much less through to level 5, until your people are moving with you. So the only way for them to move with you is for you to help them help themselves get qualified, and then they moves you up and moves them behind you all the way up. This has never been done before. The other way is that you take, if you're capable of bringing in 62 people, that you would just give your link out and sponsor them all. Okay, I cannot tell you can't do that, but I will suggest to you why. And here's the reason why. Old school network marketing and MLMs, that's the way it was taught. Okay, that what happens then is the 97% of the people are the ones that are falling over the person that just sponsored all those people, and they fall under you. Okay, now what happens for you with what 60 people over and under you? They call that something called spillover that we don't talk about because we don't build it that way. But none of them are qualified, right? So where are you going to go? Somebody throw that out there. If you go ahead and do it that way, and all these people are over and under you and spilling on top on under each other, but none of them are qualified, what happens? What happens? Jeff McBee, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. And so they're waiting on you and you're waiting on them. Well, eventually they will catch up to you. But when is eventually? When is eventually? Barbie's able. They will quit. They don't have to quit because they've only paid. But how long do you want to wait to get them caught? Give me a 3 if you think that this potential of way of building and helping your 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32 get qualified first makes sense. Makes sense, because now what have you done? You've helped the 97% that have always failed. You helped the 97% that never made any money, that they're all making money. Let me give you a little bit of information. Folks, I normally wait to do this at the end, towards the end, but here we're going to do it right now. And I want all the new people to pay attention to this. This question: if you have at least your first 2 people and they're fully qualified and they're going to be in profit, which makes you in profit on day 1, give us a 1. Watch this. New people, watch this. Give us a 1 if you've got at least your first 2 and they're fully qualified in the compensation plan. And on day one, when we launch to the public, well, new people, I hope you're seeing this. This is the 97% now. Okay, give me a 3 if that makes sense. That you would rather have 97% of your people qualified with you going into making profit on day one versus when. You have two choices. You have two choices. You can wait till they catch up to you, or you can maybe give us the benefit of the doubt of that we kind of know what we're doing, because guess what? I told you briefly, if you didn't catch this, Gary and I started 13 weeks ago. 13 weeks ago, we only had our first 2 people. That's correct. We only get 2 people. We only signed up our first 2 people. We have 2,500. 2,500, that 90% of all 2,500 are all fully qualified for the entire compensation plan and will be in profit on day one when we launch to the world. So you do have a choice. We have to give you the choice, and I do give you the choice. Okay? Now, you see about optional annual upgrades, okay? And so let's go back, let's get back to on the track of expenditure. I said expenses, right? This is a business. Okay? All businesses have an expense. All right? Yes, you sell a product, you are selling a product. You're selling a digital product, and you'll be selling products in your mall. So you'll have multiple ways of selling products. Okay? But you also have expenses to run your business. You do. And I use this as an example. If you are renting or you are purchasing a home, give me a 1. Give me a 1 if you're either renting or purchasing your home. Okay, I'm going to prove to you. My wife proved it to me, because my wife does this every month. Okay, she runs the household. I don't. She does. Okay, and she's very good at it. So good at it that we are completely debt free. And by the 15th of the month, our bills are all paid, and then our money comes in till the next month. Wow. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. So your home is an absolute business. Don't fool yourself in believing otherwise. Why? Because again, you are working a job, okay? You're either working a job or you are already debt free. Okay, I know there's some folks on here that are, okay, and we teach how to become debt free. We talking about teaching people. We teach you things that you are not going to learn. You didn't learn it in school. You didn't learn it in college. You don't learn it in network marketing companies or MLMs. We teach things that are practical, that you can apply, that you can come back and say, hey, that little bit of work, I want the whole enchilada, right? And you're going to want the whole enchilada. But here it is. You work a job, you get paid. At some point in the month, you're going to pay your bills, right? That is a business. That is a business model. Now, you may not be doing your business model correctly, okay? And incorrectly is that you've got your bills coming in before your income comes in. This is what I'm talking about in network marketing MLMs, right? Give me a 3 if I'm making any sense right now. Give me a 3 so that I see that I'm making sense to you all. Give me a 2 if I'm not. You know, shoot me a 2 and say, hey, what the hell are you talking about? Good. You make an income, you get paid either once a month or twice a month. Okay? That's not us. We pay you every day up front. Okay? You've got expenses going out. You got electric bill, you got gas bill, you got water bill, you got all kinds of bills every month. Same thing here. You got expenditures. Okay? And we're going to go through that. But your expenditures, you can see them right there. Each level has an expense. Each level has an expense. Your first level is either going to be 129 or 120, depending on how you come with us. Your second level is 200. Your third level is 330. Your fourth level is 440. Your fifth level is 550. Now, write this down. In order to be sustainable, you have to have 2 things working for you. You have to be product driven. So somebody is going to buy a product from you. You're going to buy a product first to get started. So you're a customer first, and then you are what? You are selling products second, because your very first two are your customers. Don't forget that. Okay. But you've got to be selling something in order to get an income stream. And now here comes the income. Now you're running a business, you've got expenses. We add them up. Okay. Each level has its own expense. This is how this is sustainable. Okay. It's like you're driving a Ferrari and you got to put some kind of fuel in it. All right. And you want to go at the speed of light. Right. So you're going to have some kind of expenses, just like your home. Okay. Give me a 2 if what I'm saying to you is making any sense, that you can understand comparing what's going on at your home to what's the possibilities here with this Alpes. Paid daily, income first, expenses second. Paid one time, income first daily, expenses second. So what happens? Right there in front of you, do the math. When you subtract your total expenses for all 5 levels, so once you go from level to level to level, that's how you pay your expenses. That's how your income moves up. We're gonna look at this back on the original image, okay? And yes, there's a couple of upgrades for level 6 through 10 and levels 11 through 20, and we're not going to even talk about that, because I want you to focus on the first 5 levels, because I'm going to ask you a question. I want to know. Okay, give me a 2 if you right now are making $10,000 a month or more on a regular monthly basis. Or make it a 3. If you're making $10,000 a month or more, give me a 3. Okay, if you're making $5,000 a month or more, give me a 4. Yeah, crickets, Lou. Oh, now we're moving. If you're making, I don't know, let's say between $2,500 and $4,000 a month, give me a 5. Okay, see, this is why I asked this question. There's psychology behind this, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't live in a realm, in a world where you are already making at least $9,000 to $10,000 a month on a regular basis, you don't understand that yet. So you're not going to understand how to make a $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month if you've never made $10,000 a month. You understand how to make $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, and a bunch of you $5,000 a month. Some of us $10,000 a month. My daughter does it. My son can do it. He does it. You know, my wife and I have done it. Okay, we're debt free. But my point being is this is the 97% again. Not only not making money and not being in profit like you will be here, right? But the fact is until you make that kind of money, you don't understand it yet. If that makes sense, give me a 6. If what I'm telling you right now, give me a 6. Makes sense. Okay? So let's keep our focus on the core. 2 to 62, levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to build it that way. We're going to help them come with us. And then they're going to get you to level 5, and you're going to reserve your $1,649 a month because you want to keep getting paid. Right? Give me an 8 if you want to keep getting paid. And you've built yourself to 5 levels. Give me an 8. Well, of course you want to keep getting paid. Okay, but you're making money on the way up. And so are the people behind you. Keep that in mind. This is what's so different. This is another clue. Success leaves clues. Let's go to the next slide, Lou. Let's get this to the next slide. All right. Now we can see everything. We can see the expenditures over here on the left. Okay. It says 129, and just again, it's either going to be 129 or 120 depending on how you start with us, right? And then the purchases. You got a digital product as part of your product that makes you a customer first, and then you are a seller of product and you have customers second. So we've got that out of the way now, right? So again, focus on the income. $100 a day, $100 a person, $100 a level, and just levels 1 through 5. Okay, it's just simple. The math is simple. We've been through it, and you can see it right there in front of you. And your gross revenues by level are 200. Okay, minus your expenditure. All right, so that makes it 71. If you come for public launch, we're talking about, that would be 71. And then you move to the next level, right? 600 gross, okay, minus 129 and 200. Now we're putting them together, right? Remember, we put these together as you move up, but your income is increasing at the same time. Remember the math. So your level 3 is 1,400 gross. Your level 4 is 3,000 gross. Then your level 5 is 6,200 gross. And remember, you've already written the math. So you just go in reverse, just like you did the 32, right? 16, 8, 4, and 2. That's your 62. And you just add your numbers up from level 5 backwards. And that's your 11,400 minus your 1,649, correct? Remember what we said about what? About your upgrades are what? They are voluntary, right? Remember that write this down. Your upgrades are voluntary. Your expenditures are your upgrades. They are voluntary. Can't force you to do it. Can't compel you. Will not coerce you. We will just recommend to you that we are not going to teach you to what I call micromanage. Okay? We're not going to teach you to micromanage, right? What does that mean? That means that I'm not going to teach you that, hey, you know that your electric bill is going to be in on a certain day of the month, and you can kind of fudge around and save that couple $100, whatever that electric bill is, and go ahead and spend that money, and then, oops, something happened, right? So we are going to show you a different way. All right. Remember, this is a business. You have expenses. And if you don't understand how to run a business, that's okay, because we're going to teach you how to run your business. We're not just teaching you how to reach out and touch people and share this message and share this opportunity, right? We have to teach you how to run a business, because you're going to be in profit if you follow what we teach very, very quickly, right? Okay, so upgrades are optional. In your back office, you're going to have the opportunity to start right out, and there's going to be a button there, and it's going to be in manual. It'll be in manual, okay, because that's compliance. We have to allow you to start in manual. You have to push the button and put it in automatic, meaning that now your expenditures, your expenses, your upgrades are going to come out automatically as you do what? As you build, they will come and they will move you up along the way, and then you will allow your income to come in first and your expenses to go out last, right? Now, Gary talks about the possibility that you, like I said, some of you have never made 5,000 extra, much less 10,000 extra a month, right? And remember, this is residual. This is not one-offs. Your one-off was your payment in. Never again. You pay in and never again. If you haven't wrote that down, write it down. These are all huge bullet points so that you can understand why we are not anything that you've ever seen before. So understand that these are optional, and that here's a perfect scenario, a perfect storm. So you've got yourself built up to 2 plus 6 is 800, plus 14 is 20. So 3,000, that's 50 something $100, right? And all of a sudden, you're sitting there and you're in your back office and you see this, and you don't remember, or you didn't pay attention, or you didn't come to training or whatever, and you go, oh, wait a minute. Hey, we've never had that kind of money before, hon. Boop. You put that button back on manual, right? And then you took that money out and you went on vacation. You took all the money out and went on vacation. And it doesn't matter what you did with the money or where you did with the money, but when you came back, you didn't have your what? What did you need to leave in there? Somebody new. What did you leave? What did you need to leave in your back office for expenses? You need to leave your expense money. You needed to leave your expense money in there, right? Because if you don't leave your expense money in there, you're not going to get your income when it's time for the income to come back. Give me a 4 if that makes sense. Give me a 4 if what I'm saying makes sense. That if you don't leave your expense money in there, you're not going to have to wonder why you didn't get paid for that month. Okay, now you don't lose your spot. What we said, nobody leaves. You don't lose your spot. You will get compressed out of the commission run for that month, and then they'll just say, hey, we'll try you next month. That's correct. You're going to get tested on this. You're going to have people come in at the public launch. They're not going to bring anybody. They're going to pay. They're going to sit there and wait, and they're going to wait for you to do something while you're waiting for them to do something, if that's what you're going to do. And nothing happens, but nothing happens. When nothing happens, that means that nobody comes to get any more money from them, and nobody is going to do what? Is going to move them out. They have their spot. Once you have your spot, you always have your spot. But if you don't bring anybody, if you don't get anybody gifted to you for whatever reason, after public launch, as an example, and then you're going to sit there and you won't have any income yet. All right. So you just get lifted right out of the commission run, as we call it. And then next one up comes in. The people that are above you are going to get paid. You're going to get paid. They're not going to get paid because they haven't done anything yet, right? But remember, we're not going to boot them out. They're not going anywhere. Again, these are all different things that you've never seen before. So I get it. It's hard to wrap your head around it. All right. But my suggestion is you got 5,200 in there. Leave 2,000 in there. Leave 2,000 in there. That's $3,200. I mean, I could go have a pretty good vacation on $3,200, right? Give me a 5 if you can have a pretty good vacation on $3,200. First of all, give me a 5. And then when you come back, what? You had left your upgrade money, your expense money in there. So when the commission run came around and you weren't even there, you go in your back office and, oh, yes, I got paid again. You got paid again. And you still had a heck of a time with $3,200, right? If this is making sense, give me a 3 if what we're saying here is making any sense to you all, and you're picking this up and you're understanding it. If you don't, give me a 1. If what I'm saying to you doesn't make any sense, you don't understand it, you're completely lost, give me a 1, but hold your questions till the end. All right. Next slide. We got to move a little bit faster. Okay, congratulations. You have now turned at one time either 160 or 129, 165, sorry, 165 or 129 initial purchase into a monthly income you can count on. If you follow what we teach, because we've got to remember what I told you. 13 weeks ago, Gary and I started with only our 2 people. We didn't bring 2,500 people in 13 weeks. That's a phenomenal number in 13 weeks. And it's not just, those are not pre-enrollees. These are people that have been coming with our leaders all over the country, all over the world, bringing people, just reaching out and offering an opportunity for a blessing to be had. Okay. And so that they can turn around and bless others as we come and we go to the public. But 90% of 2,500 people are already pre-qualified for the entire compensation plan and are going to be in profit on day 1. Another clue for success. Another clue for success. So it's important to remember all your monthly upgrades now become your new monthly expense. To ensure that you're able to continue to earn, just leave enough in your wallet to cover the future expenditures, and you're not going to have any problems, right? And again, just touching on this, you'll also need to set aside additional funds to cover any other upgrades and take advantage of levels 6 through 10 and levels 11 through 20. And you see the upgrade numbers there. We will qualify that in training. Next slide, please. Okay, we talked a little bit about the debit card. Okay, so a debit card is just what it is. It's another way for you to get paid. So ACH, USDT, USDC, and then of course, well, with your debit card, then you can move some of your money to your debit card, right? So you'll have a e-wallet for your cash. When the debit card presents itself and it comes, then you will have that where you can funnel a certain amount of money in. Debit cards, all debit cards have different load values. Not sure yet what that is. Not really concerned about that at all. But you will be able to get a rebate. So a potential third income stream, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide. Okay, we're very close to launching. Okay, you heard me talk about two different ways to come in tonight, to commit for all the folks that are not committed yet. Okay, meaning guests and those that are still looking. Okay, because we're loving on you. We want you to make a value. I want you to be able to make a valued business decision. And the only way to do that is to have all of the information that allows you to go do it. So there's no money tonight. So you can't join tonight by giving anybody any money. Okay. Now, yes, there's leaders of us because Gary and I are partners and we have been testing. We're part of a group, the first 256 people that are testing the payment processor, and we're almost through that, meaning we're getting closer and closer to what we call pre-launch. So you'll see the registration is $9, right? Okay. And then the 120 paid at public launch. Okay. So how do you qualify for pre-launch? Very simple. You got all your questions answered. You've told a leader that's approved to give you the opportunity to get your questions answered completely, or you've come here and you've watched what we're doing, you listened and learned, you've gone back to who invited you and got your questions answered again. And then now you're able to make a commitment. So what's the commitment, Bob? It's just a verbal commitment to start, that you understand enough that you're ready to commit verbally, okay, that when the time comes that we're going to get a link to you, all right, then you are going to do what? You're going to pay your $45 to secure your spot first, and then you're going to pay your 120. Okay, this is pre-launch now. So you got two options. You come with pre-launch and you come with two people. That is the minimum. The minimum, two people and 45 when it's time for your link, and then the 120. If you wait, and God bless you if you want to wait, I get that, but you have that opportunity, and that decision is yours too. You can wait for the public launch, okay? And that is coming later, all right? And we don't have an exact date, so I can't give you an exact date, but it is coming later, okay? And so then if you come and wait, then it's either $9 a month or you give them $45 for 6 months. Remember what I said, $45 for 6 months or $81 for a full year. And then you will pay your 120 at the same time as public launch. So, and of course, we've already talked about credit card, debit card, USDT, TRC20 on the Tron network, and then the remaining balance, right? So the company is coming out with a lot of professional marketing materials, and those are all being worked on right now. Okay, some of us have been doing this for about 13 weeks, all right? But we are only using approved marketing materials, all right? So images, des Alpes, the name, we've been given permission to use that. We're fixing to get their logo, the official logo that we've asked permission to use. And we've got a couple of videos that we hand out that are also approved. And so everything has to go through compliance, which means, again, this is a business. This is not a play game. This isn't something we do for a hobby. If you're coming with us during pre-launch, that means that you're serious, that you're a pioneer, that you're ready and understand that you're going to be in a startup, because being in a startup is way different than public launch. I'll just tell you that much. And for all that kind of information, you'll get back to your inviter. Is that the last slide? Now that we've changed them around a little bit. Okay. Again, what we're saying, no funds are needed. Wouldn't take it from you even if you offered it. Okay. So again, you have options. You can come with us for pre-launch. You can decide to wait till to the public launch, or you can say, hey, look, I've seen what I need to see, and this ain't for me. God bless you, because it's not for everybody, right? We are not for everybody, even though I would like to say we are for everybody in the world. Okay. So let's do a quick Q&A. Let's do a quick Q&A. Okay. Thank you for that, Gina. Yes, there's a 12% processing fee. So it's $50.40. I've already done it. By the way, it's tax deductible. Now, I did not say that you're paying taxes. All payment processors have a fee. PayPal has them. All of them have them. Okay. But they are tax deductible. So keep all your receipts. Do we also earn commissions on the sales of products sold in our digital mall? Absolutely. We went through that. If you missed it, there's what we call a mirror 2x20 that pays per level. And then also there's a 5-level unilevel that pays for your personals. 50%, 20, 10, 10, and 10. I do have people in level 4 already. Excellent. That's what I'm saying. You're building this on paper, right? So we don't have a link. You got to build it on paper. That's what Gary and I started out with. But we've got 2,500 people between the two of us. So we have all of our leadership. We have senior leadership, and we call them, I call them global community leaders. Global community leaders now are folks that have over 200 community members. Okay, a group community team leader has got their 62, and a community team leader gets promoted to community team leader once they have their first 3 levels fully qualified. All right, if we sign up people now, are they with us in the pre-launch leaders? When does that cut off? It cuts off as soon as they give us the word that it cuts off, and until the leaders, what we call the pre-launch leaders, okay, get completely confirmed, of which Gary and I already have. We're number 60. He's number 63, and I'm number 65 in the company of the 256 that are distributed between 4 master distributors. And that date is not going to be disclosed yet, because until these things are done and they are put to bed, that we will continue doing what we do. Okay. Is Tron the only wallet platform, or there are others? There are others, and somebody else that's a guru on crypto could probably speak to that.
Hey, Bob, you
Yep.
just it felt like you kind of glossed over how high up in the matrix we are. To somebody who doesn't know, like me, can you explain how important that is and how rare it is to be that high up in the matrix?
Well, that's a great point, Lou. So I don't really speak to that very much, because you can't entice anybody with showing money. All right. And when somebody asks you to show me the money, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to say. It's none of your business what kind of money I'm making. I can just assure you that I'm paid very well for what I do in my business. Okay. So, you're going to keep that to yourself for a lot of different reasons. All right. And the same thing goes through. If I tell you that I just told you that I'm number 64, 65, Gary is 63, meaning that we are under the number 1 master distributor, Donnie Basque. Okay. There's 4. He's number 1 because he's got the largest group. We have the largest single group in the whole company right now. And that's why we are where we are. So he's got his first 62 leaders right under him. So he's got his first 5 levels, and they are only leaders, and they're only people that are bringing more than 2. But we are right there on his 6th level, and that's why we're 63, 64, and 65 underneath Gary. Okay, and then my group is underneath me, obviously, and some of my leaders already know where they are numbers wise. So that means that literally we are starting out at the top. So how high can you get? Okay. If you are blessed enough that you are one of the top leaders of Donnie Bask downline, then you're in levels 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and however he has you positioned. And that's as close as you get to the top, except for what? For being a master distributor or then being a owner. You can't get any closer. So these things don't happen. First of all, typically in a leaders launch, it's only leaders and it's only first 2 levels, and family is never involved. Okay, we teach about family later, so we don't have time to go into the details now. But this is a family-based company, Christian-based company. I'll just put it right out there. We have a lot of brothers and sisters in Christ that are on this call, and they're around the world, and we are attracting all kinds of folks like that. Because why? The why that we do this is more important than the how. Once you understand why you're here, okay, some of you think that you're just here to make money. Granted, there is money to be made, right? But I'm not here for that because I don't need it. Gary doesn't need it. There's a lot of people on this call that don't need it. When I say I don't need it, doesn't mean I don't want it, because my wife and I have a huge plan for phase 2 of our journey. Phase 1 was getting completely debt free. We've done that. Phase 2 is now helping as many people as we can help change their lives. That's the vision part of this. One global community, changing lives, one family at a time, one day at a time. And then the mission is very simple. We're going to help solve problems for you. Okay? Your reach is only in your mind that you understand why you are here. If you're here just for the money, this may not be the place for you. Because yes, we are going to make money. Yes, we are going to have the opportunity to learn how to build a team that we're all making money together. That is the why. For me, the why is making sure that all of you, not just the top 3%, not just the owners are willing to wait. The owners are willing to wait. Their matrix is to infinity. Ours is to the 20th level. Does that mean that I'm going to get to the 20th level? No. But I can tell you that I've got spider legs down to the 17th and 18th and 19th and 20th level now. So I know it's possible, right? Okay, but we want to make it possible for everybody to have that opportunity. And first, you want to be able to show somebody how to make a couple $100, and then 500, then 1,000, and then the 3,000, and then 5,000, and then 10,000, right? That's what this is about, is giving the people opportunity to do this first. They learn it, and we turn around and help them teach it and help other people, even in your own neighborhood. I mean, you got to know that there's people in your neighborhood that don't want to have their wives working. They want them home with the children. They don't want to be working overtime. They only work overtime because they have to. You only do what you got to do until you don't have to do it anymore. And it is up to you to make the decision on how you're going to accomplish that. That is why this vehicle is so important, because it gives you the opportunity to do what? I retired my wife. I didn't do it with my regular job. I had a vehicle that helped part of that. I retired her first, and then I retired, and then we retired debt free. All because, yes, I had a job, but I had a vehicle before this came along. Now I know exactly what phase 2 looks like for my wife and I. And we are going to be helping charities, and we're going to be helping people that we have been wanting to help forever. That is why we are here. That is why we are here. All right, I don't know if this question was asked or not, but can you please confirm if we're able to sign up our spouses? Lucille, get back to the inviter that brought you here. Yes, family is allowed, but there's a rule about that we teach. It's called no stacking, which also includes no stacking of businesses, meaning you can only have one position. Okay, my wife is on my first level, and my wife was approved by des Alpes in week 1 to be where she is, and my wife has 600 people under her left leg. alone. Okay. And I'm far from the only one that has downlines of this size. No one left behind. That's right. Yep. And I'm sure we'll be required to do that. Yeah, KYC. Yes, KYC is coming, and it will come before the mall is in place. So KYC means know your customer. Again, that is the legal way that you will identify yourself to the ownership. That's why you will not take a spot and then come back with an LLC or a 501c3, because LLCs and 501c3s, first of all, have to be approved by the Alpes. You can't come in that way to begin with. It has to be approved. And then KYC will actually reveal who that person is. Okay. And you don't want to get caught trying to take a spot and then coming back in as an LLC because you think that they're not going to find out who you are. Yep. Gina's got a really good example there about that. Yep, 1099. Yep, if you earn 600 or more, that's standard in the United States. I cannot speak to foreign countries. No, John, you're reading that wrong. What that says in the TOS about family is that as long as the master distributor's first 5 levels are full, then family. I've already told you. I've qualified that with everybody already. We've qualified this a long time ago. My wife wouldn't be where she is if that wasn't legal and it wasn't qualified. Social Security number is part of KYC? Absolutely. Absolutely. And they will be looked into. KYC opens you up to making sure that you are who you say you are. Okay. We're also going to have 2FA. Okay. 2-factor authorization in the security part. Okay. Just these are things that we talk about in training. If we select automatic payment, what is that? Does the active level need to be completely filled before money can be paid on the next level? Yes. You don't move up per level until your levels are active and qualified. It only takes 1 to qualify you for the first 5 levels, but we teach 2 because we teach you a very, very simple way to learn how to bring at least 2 people. And that's all you ever have to bring is 2 people. What about other countries without social security numbers? Good question. I can't speak to that. If I bring more than 2 people, where do they fall? They fall under you, and you are actually helping your next level get them qualified. So they qualify and they come with you. So you learn more about this in training. That you can't. It's hard to get your head wrapped around something that the network marketing industry has never done before. Okay, the network marketing industry wants you to get your 2, and if you don't know how to get your 2, you're not going to get your 2. So you got to learn how to do that first. We're going to teach you that first, and then if you can bring more, yes, but you're going to help them get qualified because you get paid. You get paid on everybody. Okay, so the old way of doing it is you get paid on your first 2, and then you can if you sign up 10 people, 8 of them are going to fall under you. It doesn't matter how many you can bring, but if you bring 10, 8 fall under you, and they're not qualified, so you go nowhere. So you want to do it the hard way and the long way, or do you want to do it the easy way and get everybody qualified? Because my job was to get my first 62 people, and I know all of them personally, and they're all qualified. That got me to level 5 first. Okay, and now they're working on their own levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm helping them, and they've learned this process. So you got to remember, you got 2 choices. You can sponsor the world and then wait for them to catch up with you whenever that happens, or you can do what? You can help people learn how to get qualified first, and then you can move up and they come with you. Trainings are every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. If somebody has the training So we're at an hour and a half, and we're going to close this down. Lou, you got anything else to add? I think Lou.
Nope, I think you covered it all.
Okay.
I was just going to get the link for Saturday.
Yeah, if you get the link for Saturday.
I threw it in the chat earlier, but I'll send it again now.
It's gone again. Some people have huge families, including siblings. Yep. When we go to public, I can't speak to if that means that, hey, anything goes. I will not speak to that. Okay. We have a terms of service, policies and procedures that speak to that. Okay. For the pre-launch, as long as the master distributor's first 5 levels are full, and they all are, each master distributor has 5 levels are full. So we come in under them. And so again, my wife has already been qualified. Okay. And there's different strategies for family. We teach that in training. All right. Well,
I'm also going to throw the training replay links in here. They're always going to be updated. Will be noted in the Skype group when they've been updated, but there'll always be those 3 links.
Okay. Click on those links, and so they'll pull up in your browser, and you'll have them.
Tonight's will not be available until this is done being prepared by Zoom, because I'm not allowed to control time anymore.
That's correct. You can't control time anymore. Not for you, Lou. All right. I'm just going to thank each and every one of you for taking some time out of your busy evenings to let us share with you what I think is probably the most explosive and biggest project that's ever been done right now in this industry. We are turning this industry upside down and inside out with all of the bullet points. And if you wrote them down and you start going back and start thinking about them, you'll absolutely see why we are not anything like any other network marketing company or MLM company in the world. And you don't want to be that. And now you have something so beautiful that you can share. So beautiful you can share, right? So you want to get back to the person that invited you because they love you and they respect you, and you have a trust relationship, or you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be here if that were not the case. Okay. And look, I love each and every one of you, and I would love to see each and every one of you at the top with us. Okay. But you have to make the decision yourself. When you leave here tonight, you'll make the decision after you've talked with your spouse, with your partner, unless you're single, and you get back to whom invited you. That is the key. The key to this and your success is your inviter, and then getting plugged in that you decide to either come with us for pre-launch or wait till the public launch. We love you anyway. And we come to the trainings, whether you do anything with us or not. Come to the free trainings. Come to the free trainings, because you're going to see stuff that you've never seen before. I promise you. Okay. But so I ask you this question: are you worthy? Can you see if you're worthy or not? Does this make enough sense to you? Do you see the why and the how? And it makes enough sense that you feel now you're worthy because your family is worthy. And if you don't think your family is worthy enough, then you're in the wrong place, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't believe that you're worthy, and you don't believe that makes you believe that your family's not even worthy, then you're in the wrong place. And again, we're not for everybody. But I have a feeling that I do believe that if you've got what we presented to you and you understand it enough, yes, you're going to have some questions. We want you to get them answered. Get back to who invited you, because God loves you. So do Lou and I. And we'll see each and every one of you at the top. Good night.